Thanks to Mac Weldon for keeping LegalEagle in the air and helping me look fly.
What it's like doing a virtual depot right now. If you're in Florida, this is what you look like because you're not wearing a shirt, because apparently they're not wearing shirts in Florida. Because, woohoo, Florida. Oh, I didn't see you there. And set up a tripod and a camera and a whole bunch of lights. Well, since you're here and we're all locked inside in this never-ending Chekhov's winter, this prison of our own homes, this panopticon of social media and lockdown orders, I guess we might as well do a meme review. And since everyone loves lawyers and coronavirus, might as well combine everyone's two favorite things together. Yeah, let's do a legal coronavirus meme review. Meme review! Meme review trademark of PewDiePie, all rights reserved. As a criminal lawyer, what's the biggest issue you're dealing with in 2020? Trying to figure out how to correctly run the vacuum cleaner in the dishwasher. Oh man, it's been so interesting seeing how the legal profession functions when we're all working from home these days. It's been really interesting seeing that a lot of the stuff that makes lawyers expensive, like going into court and waiting there for hours just to have a minor hearing, can actually be accomplished over video conferencing software. Yeah, trying to work the vacuum cleaner in the dishwasher while sometimes appearing in court can be very difficult. And apparently in Florida, they are appearing on video conferences from home without shirts on. So all of you lawyers out there, please put a shirt on. If you're showing up to court, put on a tie, even if it's in your own home. No, you can't approach the bench if you have a cold. Oh, big mistake. Big mistake. He approached the judge without asking for permission first. You know what happens when you approach the judge without asking for permission entering the well. But this cartoonist screwed that up because you wouldn't ask for permission if you were already there. Think about that. If you're experiencing the following symptoms: headache, body aches, shortness of breath, fever, developed aches and pains, difficulty sleeping, easily frustrated and can't communicate properly, feeling dizzy, this is not the coronavirus. These are the effects of being an attorney. Oh boy, that hits close to home. It can be tough being a lawyer out there. And look, I know it's tough for everyone these days, but yeah, lawyers deal with this stuff on a regular basis because we work really, really long hours. We'll work 10, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week often if we're preparing for trial. Often people confuse, being a jerk with being a disposition. It's just a consequence of becoming a lawyer. You become a jerk and you get all the aches and pains that go with it. So yeah, I feel that. What it's like doing a virtual depot right now. Yeah. As you may know, if you watch this channel, a deposition is questioning a witness under oath, and you'll have a stenographer there taking down the words that are being spoken. Well, you can't do that now because you're within 6 feet, you're within the same room, you don't want to spread the germs. So what lawyers have taken to doing is doing a virtual depot. You are having a video conference and the witness is still under oath. You have the stenographer call in to the virtual depot, and maybe they're recording it for future posterity, which is something that they should do anyway, and it drives me insane that they don't record these things often. It should be recorded. You should be able to refer back to it without having to refer to the transcript from the stenographer. But anyway, if you're in Florida, this is what you look like because you're not wearing a shirt, because apparently they're not wearing shirts in Florida. Because, woohoo, Florida. Divorce lawyers in April after 2-week coronavirus quarantine. Consider yourself lucky if you have a significant other to spend the quarantine with, and you come out stronger at the end of the quarantine. Government orders non-essential workers to work from home. Lawyers somehow are essential workers. Oh. Well, look, especially you have to imagine district attorneys and public defenders, certainly essential workers. And as I mentioned in another video, the prisons are being hit really, really hard by coronavirus because you can imagine everyone is forced to be in confinement. And we're hearing numbers of like 80, 90, and 100% infection rates in some prisons. It's a really, really bad time for lawyers, for prison guards, for judges, for district attorneys, public defenders. It's not really a laughing matter. I mean, I feel it's tough for everyone, but life has to go on. The wheels of the judicial system have to go on. COVID-19 turning lawyers into cavemen. Last day before. Oh, poor Matthew Perry. Oh, remember Matthew Perry? He was a good-looking guy. Yeah, boy, I am trying to work out, but I think I'm going to be leaving lockdown with a few extra coronavirus pounds. It's just hard, like not leaving the house, going on maybe one walk. I think I went outside a couple days ago. That was a good time. I feel like we're all at home doing nothing but sitting around and drinking Mr. Pibb and Red Vines and talking about Friends alum Matthew Perry. This would be more fun with a friend. I got an idea. Hey, are you doing anything right now? Yeah, somebody set up a tripod and a camera in my family room. You want to react to some legal memes? Cool. I'll send you the Zoom link. Okay, is this working? You're frozen. Yeah, why don't you try and log in again? Okay, no, what? Yeah, try it again. No, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? All right. All right, day 7 of quarantine, attorneys. Let's argue. I want to feel something. Oh man, I really feel that. Do you feel that?
I feel this deep for 2 reasons. Firstly, my housemates are lawyers, and so we get our arguing to another level. There is no playing around when it comes to who hasn't done the dishes, because we are ready to moot.
Do people ever talk to you and say I'm really good at arguing, therefore I should go to law school?
People don't say it to me because I don't think I am. In real life, I'm the most non-confrontational person, so I actually don't argue a lot. But when you've kind of been in, not an argument, but when you've kind of fallen out with a friend and then you stand in the shower later listening to emotional Adele music and you think of all the things you could have said in that moment. Maybe this isn't as relatable with the Adele point, but kind of when you come away from an argument or a confrontation and you think of all the arguments you could have made, and that's when I knew I'd be a good lawyer, because I was you see, lawyers don't have to be super confrontational in person because they can do all their preparation beforehand and turn up with all of their arguments in their pristine, golden, shiny form.
Family, religion, friendship, these are the 3 demons you must slay if you want to succeed in big law. Oh no. It's true. Yeah,
it's true. I agree.
How would you say your life has changed under the Damocles of the coronavirus and being forced to lock down? Are you less social or more social than working normal hours at the firm?
That is a really hard one because I train with a lot of other trainee lawyers my own age, and we often go out for coffee together and we eat lunch together, and I really like that. And now I'm just so stir crazy because I don't have someone to just break out and talk to. So I'm probably more antisocial. But I'm definitely outside a lot more, which sounds kind of depressing, but I often think it's very easy when you're working at a law firm that you will just be inside all day unless you make the active effort to go and get coffee or go and eat lunch out. You won't leave, you won't leave. And so now I'm taking as many walks as I can a day.
Oh, speaking of billable hours.
This one I found, I think this is really funny. It's just how the level of desperation gets more and more, as we're getting further into the crisis.
Yeah, and I guess some background here. In big firms, lawyers get a salary, but in order to get that salary, which is generally pretty good for people that are just coming out of law school or college, you have to work an insane amount of hours, and those are called billable hours. And at least in the US, the very bottom floor would be probably about 2,000 billable hours. And if you're a first or second year, it's probably more 2,300 billable hours. And that's just hours that you can bill to a client. It's not the actual hours that you work in the firm, which is often like 50% more than that. So you might be working like 3,000 or 3,500 hours to get 2,000 or 2,300 billable hours.
And I also think it's really interesting, and I didn't realize this before I started, how closely you have to record that time.
Oh yeah, right.
My timesheets are so detailed, and I had no idea that happened. So to give context, every single task I do per day, I have to record by the minute, because then when the firm wants to charge a client, they have to turn around and say, this is exactly what we spent time on, so you know exactly what you're going to pay for. But that means that like every hour of the, like when I first started, I found it really stressful, because I was kind of like, do I stop my timers if I go to the toilet? Like it was just like really intense.
Yeah, well, it depends on if you're thinking about the client in the bathroom or not.
Which I wasn't. I did stop my timers.
Keeping up with the billable requirement here. Yeah, the bonus in terms of toilet paper.
Of toilet paper.
I feel like that's an American thing. Were there shortages of toilet paper in Great Britain?
Oh my god, you have no idea. People went so crazy. Like we had it here as well. And the funniest thing is like I'd walk past the same supermarket every day to the firm, and every morning there would be like lines of people holding their toilet paper, and it would be sold out by like 10 minutes past opening. And I was like, oh, like it will get back in stock. It did not get back in stock, like UK wide, for about 5 weeks. And I was like, oh my god, like what if I actually run out? So unnecessary.
Yeah, and it's not, I don't see why the coronavirus would like make people use more toilet paper. But I guess maybe this is TMI, but I've been on Team Bidet for a long time, so it doesn't really affect me as much as everybody else.
And also, I love how extreme people were getting. They were like, obviously, like BuzzFeed and companies like that were like jumping on the bandwagon. Like, here's how you can make toilet paper out of like organic leaves, and I'm like, I don't want it to get to that level. Like, can we just not stockpile? That's an easy solution.
Yeah. Oh my god. Let's not spend too much time on the toilet paper and move on to the next one here. Receiving deliveries during pandemic, like leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
I relate to this so hard, but you know what? I actually think it's the other way around. Someone delivered a parcel yesterday, and I opened the door, and the man, like, he'd only just put it down, and he looked up at me, and he ran backwards, like almost fell over his feet. And then he was like, oh, like I need to take a photo to prove it's been delivered. So I stood by my parcel, and I was like, oh, I feel now obliged to pose. So I stood there with my parcel like, thank you. And he was like, I only needed a picture of the parcel. I didn't need a picture of you in his house. And now there's this weird photo of me in a parcel on a database somewhere, like, hi.
I think that means you're spending too much time on Instagram. I think you need to step back from the influencer lifestyle just a little bit.
Yeah, I know, someone gets out a camera and I'm immediately like, yes, switched on.
Skinny arm out in front and posing with the parcel.
Catch my door.
Yeah, I am thanking my delivery people like they are soldiers returning from war. They're really making our lives, I think, livable at this point. So I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, they are incredible. Yeah.
I don't own anything. Prosecutor lowers. Okay. Is Joe Exotic a thing in the UK? Like, is Tiger King making rounds around there?
So much of a thing, to the extent to which 3 nights ago I was like, maybe I want a mullet, and then I was like, no, I don't. No, I really don't.
You may not have a choice. We're all cutting our own hair these days, so you may end up with one no matter what.
Yeah, I might slip and then just have to become my inner Joe Exotic. Although maybe I'm like more of a Carol Baskin. I've not decided yet. Maybe I'm one of the tigers. Who knows?
Yeah, are you Team Joe or Team Carol?
Oh, definitely Team Carol. Because, and I love how people were kind of like, Carol is, so, like on Twitter, people were like, Carol is so crazy, like she's, you know, she potentially like murdered her ex-husband and all this sort of thing. And I'm like, yeah, but like, he literally keeps 200 tigers in his like land estate in the middle of America. I'm like, how are we normalizing that already?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, technically Carol had lions and tigers as well, but you know, between the two of them, one of them is spending 2 decades in federal prison and the other is a free person. So I'm not sure who we should be giving the benefit of the doubt to here.
This is true, and I actually didn't think about it like that, and I would love to meet him. Also, imagine being his lawyer. I just think that would be so incredible.
All right, working in the office, working from home. Oh no.
This speaks to me on a deep level, I won't lie. So at the moment, all of our internal meetings at the firm are done with like by camera, like everyone's like on camera, like us on this Zoom.
Yes.
And so you kind of feel obliged to look like somewhat not asleep, but then equally you're like, but I'm in my own home. And it's like at the start, some people was like, everyone was still wearing business wear at the start. And I was like, I'm in my own home. Like, I'm not putting on a suit. Like, I don't know what's happening. And it's like regressed and regressed and regressed. And now I'm just turning up in my t-shirt, like, take me or leave me, have me for who I am.
Yeah. In Florida, apparently they are having trouble with the attorneys who are showing up on the Zoom calls without shirts on. And, you know, sometimes you can get away with wearing less formal stuff below, but I've never heard, I mean, it makes total sense in Florida that they would show up in front of the judge on a video conference call with opposing counsel.
Oh my gosh, in front of a judge.
No shirt. No shirt.
Okay, so here's the difference. I know in the UK that we have now opened up virtual courts as well, and I'm 100% sure if I was in like any kind of like judicial situation like that, I would be in full black business wear.
Graduating law school, like, I am never going to financially recover. Oh no. I had so much law school debt. Please tell me that you incurred a whole bunch of debt as well.
Okay, so I did financial and emotional debt, but I will say I'm pretty sure law school fees in America are way higher than the UK. So I kind of don't want to complain too much because I'm still in debt, don't get me wrong, but like I don't think it's near the level of the States.
More or less than the equivalent of $200,000. Like more or less than 150,000 pounds. Damn it.
I'm at like under 25% of that. For 4 years, I probably owed around 30 to 40,000 pounds.
And you're not even going to be a real lawyer doing litigation at the end of that. I feel so bad for you.
We're going to fall out, and I'm ready. I am ready for us to fall out. That would be the ultimate head-to-head. We're going to come back for round 2, and I'm going to have arguments as to why transactional lawyers are better than litigious lawyers.
Where can the people find you on the internet?
Come along with me on my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter under the same handles, Eve Cornwell. Why did that feel like an interview? I'm like...
Well, thank you, Eve, so much. And thank you for providing some human contact in these really terrible times.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was fun. Interacting with people was fun. I miss that. Oh well, more memes. Stop spreading stupid rumors about martial law. Completely false. We will continue closing. This is not martial law. This full on NBC martial law. So this is a pet peeve of mine. It's martial law spelled M-A-R-T-I-A-L, as in like an army, a martial army, not Marshall like Marshall Mathers. Though I would totally watch that show. Martial law, and then you have a crossover with Ice-T from Law & Order now that that's been canceled. Hi, my name is Justice. I mean, NBC, make this show. Make martial law. That would be amazing. Motion to cancel the rest of the year. Motion granted. Motion granted. Move to strike the previous portion of this year, too. Man, screw this year. Dear counsel, by opening up this email, you have agreed to accept electronic service and stipulated that our motion for summary judgment will be unopposed. Stay safe. So this is another thing that lawyers have to deal with, except under these extenuating circumstances. You have to physically mail almost everything or personally deliver motions or discovery requests, and you have to physically file the stuff with the court. I've never understood, except for sort of traditional reasons, why this is. Now that everyone can't really go to court, although some people still have to physically file stuff with the court, we should be able to do what's called provide things via electronic service and accept service electronically. In this day and age, it's so much better, and it's so much more certain that if you send it via email, or like if you have a read receipt with an email, that's way better than personally handing this stuff with a process server or sending it through the mail. Although you get crazy stuff like this where you say, if you open the email, you agree to accept service and grant my motion for summary judgment. It's clever. That part will not work, but the other stuff should work, and we should just do away with having non-electronic service. It's nonsense. Quarantine pro tip: if you run out of toilet paper, that copy of the motion to compel you received from opposing counsel will suffice. That is true, because when opposing counsel gives you a motion to compel, it's garbage and it should go in the toilet paper. If I send a motion to compel, meritorious and cannot be used for toilet paper. Sadly, my side hustle is just billing more hours. Yeah. It's been a while since I've been in the big firm world. I was in there for a decade, and yeah, when you're in big firm world, your side hustle is just more of your main hustle. So I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore, and now I have my own practice. How did that get there? I know people always speculate that I'm not actually wearing pants, but I do actually wear pants when I record these videos. Like the pants that I'm wearing right now are from Mack Weldon. They are Mack Weldon's Radius pants, and they're incredibly comfortable, and they're the perfect pant for this post-apocalyptic COVID-19 stay-at-home situation because they look like real pants, but they're actually athleisure pants that are incredibly comfortable. You can do anything in them because if you have to be stuck at home, you should wear Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon, for the man that wants to look like they're wearing pants, but doesn't have to. And these pants are even more comfortable because I'm pairing them with Mack Weldon's famous boxer briefs, which are so comfortable, but obviously I can't show you that. But, well, hold on. Highly recommended. Because if you're watching this channel, you're probably an adult and you deserve to have some nice underwear. Mack Weldon is a men's essential clothing company that focuses on smart design and premium fabrics to make some of the most comfortable clothing out there. I've ordered Mack Weldon with my own money for years, and it's especially great in these times when I can go online and I can order Mack Weldon straight from their website, order as many options and sizes as I want, have them delivered, and then return anything that doesn't fit or I don't like free of charge. And if you want to try out their underwear, you don't have to even return it because nobody wants to use used underwear. So if you would like to try Mack Weldon and get 20% off, all you have to do is go to mackweldon.com/LegalEagle or use the promo code LegalEagle at checkout. I'll also drop a link in the doobly-doo as well. Clicking on the link really helps out this channel. And what's great is Mack Weldon has a loyalty program where if you sign up, you can get 20% off indefinitely for all of your future orders and get access to new stuff when it comes out. So do you agree with my analysis? Do you disagree with Eve's analysis? Leave your objections in the comments and check out this playlist over here with all of my other meme reviews and reactions to the crazy things on Reddit and social media and crazy posts on Facebook. Just click on this link and I'll see you in court.